Welcome to the iPad Orientation Pages training session. Pages is the word processing app that will be used at SHA for all formal writing assignments that require MLA formatting. This includes, but is not limited to, outlines, formal paragraphs, essays, and lab reports. Please open your Pages app now so we can begin our training. When you open your Pages app, you'll notice it takes you immediately to the Document Manager. Here we need to know a few basic steps before we can get started. The first thing that I want to show you is simply how to duplicate a document. This is important when you have any sort of template that you want to continue to use, especially with MLA formatting like we're going to do today. You'll want to be able to simply duplicate that so you don't have to do the work over and over again. So in order to duplicate a document, all you're going to do is hold down on the document until it becomes jiggly and it has a blue highlight around the edge of the document. Then in the top left-hand corner, you're going to select the plus sign, and that will automatically duplicate the document for you. The next basic function I want to teach you is how to delete a document. Again, using your finger or stylus, you'll simply hold down on that duplicated document until it has a blue frame, and then you'll select the trash can icon. From there, it will prompt you to delete document. You select delete document, and then it simply puts it in the trash. And then the last thing that I wanted to show you is how to organize your Pages documents into folders. In order to do that, you simply need two documents that belong in the same type of folder. And what you're going to do is, again, hold down your finger or stylus onto the document. And then you're going to take that document, still holding down, and hover it over the document that you would like it to share a folder with. Then you release. It creates a brand new folder, and from there, you just simply touch on the folder text box and rename your folder. These are a couple soccer recommendations I wrote, so I'm just going to rename this folder Soccer Recs. Once you're done renaming it, select Done, and then in the top right-hand corner, you're going to select Done again, and now you have a folder. To create a brand new document in Pages, you're going to go ahead and select Create Document with the plus sign. Here you'll see that it takes you to a library of templates. You have some basic templates, some reports, some letter writing, some envelopes, etc. We're going to go ahead and go under Reports and select the Research Paper template. The reason I like to use the research paper template is because it already includes a header, a title, as well as a heading that comes close to proper MLA formatting. We are going to make a couple changes here. So the first thing that I want you to do is I just simply want you to rename the document. In order to do this, you look at the title of the document at the very top in orange, and then just touch on that with your finger or stylus until it puts a cursor there. And then we are going to name this document Formal Writing Template. So at this time, everybody needs to rename their document Formal Writing Template. Now that we know how to rename our document, we're going to learn how to adjust the document setup. In order to do this, we are going to touch on the wrench icon in the top right-hand corner. And the third option is Document Setup. We're going to go ahead and touch on that. And you should get this blue Doc Setup working screen. Proper MLA format requires a 1-inch margin around all edges of the paper. Now, in the research paper template, it automatically defaults to that, but if you use another template, you may want to just double check, and you can do that by just dragging these arrows in and out, and then once it gets to 1 inch, go ahead and release the arrow. And again, this is already set up for 1 inch on all 4 sides, so we're in a good place. The next thing I want to adjust is our paper header. Proper MLA format requires your last name and the page number on each page. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and just touch our finger or stylus to research paper and delete that. We do not need that header. Then we're going to go ahead and touch where it says Semper, and we're going to delete that, and I would like you to replace that with your last name. So I'm going to go ahead and write my last name on there. Leave the page number in place. This will allow a continued pagination, which simply means that page 1 will say 1, page 2 will say 2, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to go ahead and minimize that. Then we're going to go ahead and select the text itself. So go ahead and hold down on your last name, and then once you see that blinking cursor with the pop-up menu, go ahead and touch on Select All. Then we are going to select the paintbrush icon in the top right-hand corner, and we're going to change the font. The reason being is that proper MLA format requires 12-point Times New Roman font. So where right now it says 12-point Helvetica, go ahead and touch on that. And then it will give you text size. It's already in 12-point. That's what we want. The color is already the black, so we want that. We're going to select font, and we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom because they're in alphabetical order, and we're going to select Times New Roman. Once we've done that, go ahead and select Done in the top left-hand corner, and now the next thing we're going to learn how to adjust is our header and our font within our document. So the first thing we're going to do is just take our finger or a stylus and touch on where it says Erna Semper. That's going to actually be where your name goes. So I'm going to go ahead and put my name in there. On yours, you should put your name. Then under instructor's name, I would like you to use your English teacher's name. I'm going to go ahead and use Mrs. Hudson as a sample. But again, go ahead and enter your English teacher's name there. Then on course title, I'm going to go ahead and put English 1. And again, for those of you that are transfer students, you're going to have English 2, English 3, or even possibly English 4. Then I would like you to include a hyphen, and from the hyphen, I want you to put the block that your English class takes place. So I'm just going to use A block. And then the last thing I'm going to do is going to make a minor adjustment to the date. In proper MLA formatting, they make the date in day, month, and year rather than month, day, year like we do. And so what we're going to do is go ahead and put 16 August, and then 2016. Okay, and that is a proper MLA formatted heading or header. Your name, your teacher's name, the course and block, and then the date in day, month, and year. The next thing we're going to do is adjust the title of this. All of your properly MLA formatted papers will have a title. We're just going to make this, again, the same title that we made the paper itself, which is Formal Writing Template. Okay, so go ahead and change the title. And then the last thing that we're going to do here is we are just going to go ahead and delete all the pre-prepared text that's on there. And then the last thing I want you to do is just include a brief introduction about yourself. So, hi, my name is Vicki Valkyrie. And then I want you to include something fun you did this summer. So, hi, my name is Vicki Valkyrie, and I spent a week of my summer at, drama camp, whatever. So, include a little bit of information about you, no more than 2 sentences. So, go ahead and take a moment and go ahead and complete that information. Now that you've recorded some basic information about yourself, the last thing I want you to do is go ahead and adjust the font of the text within your paper. In order to do this, all you're going to do is take your finger or stylus and touch on some of the white space within your document. Once the pop-up menu appears, go ahead and touch Select All. From there, we're going to do the same thing we did in our heading, and we're going to select the paintbrush in the top right-hand corner. We're going to select on the font, and we're going to change the font to Times New Roman. That should appear at the top under your recents, since you just recently used it to change your header. All right, now we have a properly formatted paper. Now that we've created a document with proper MLA formatting, I do want to show you a few other features of Pages. So the first thing that I want you to do is go ahead and just select on some text so you have the cursor in the paper. Then I want you to select the paintbrush icon in the top right-hand corner. Now go ahead and select Style. And of course, we've already adjusted our font. But under Style, you can also adjust your font with bold, italicizing, underline, or striking through text. You can also align your paper to the left, central, or to the right. It's a title, so we're going to leave it in the middle. And then you can change the different paragraph styles if you wish. Again, in proper MLA formatting, you're not going to use those different paragraph styles. Then you're going to go to List, and here you'll notice this is where you can indent or outdent text. Now that'll be important when you're doing any sort of outlining. The other thing that you can do here that will be beneficial for outlining is that you can include lists with bullets, letters, or numbers. If you are doing a proper MLA formatted outline, you're going to use the Harvard option. The next thing you're going to do is select Layout. From Layout, you can change the number of columns that your text is appearing in, or you can adjust your line spacing. MLA format requires that you use double spacing, so we're good here. The next thing I want you to touch on is the plus sign, and that is just what it is. It's an addition of something extra. And the first icon is to add a table. Then we have add a graph. Here we can add a text box, a line, or a shape. And then the last option is to add a photo from your camera roll. We're going to skip the share arrow for just a second because that's kind of going to be our last step today. So go ahead and select the wrench. And again, we had used the wrench earlier for document setup. Now we're going to actually explore the settings menu. Here you can make sure that your spell check is on, you can check your word count, etc., etc. Next is the question mark. And all this is some coaching tips. So if you're having trouble remembering how to rename your documents or how to create a text box, this will kind of guide you through some of those instructions. And then the last thing I want to talk about today is the share arrow. You will primarily use the share arrow for 3 different purposes. The first thing is to email a copy of a document. If you want to share it with somebody else, something like that, that's great. And you simply do that by selecting Send a Copy. That will pull up your email and prompt you to send it out wherever you'd like to. The next is Open in another app. And this one is really important because this is how you will send it or submit it in Schoology, or how you can back it up to Google Drive. We're going to select our Share button, Open in another app, PDF, and then here we are going to copy to Drive. And again, some of you may have your personal and your school accounts both linked to your Google Drive. It may check to make sure that you want to save it simply to your school account. Absolutely. We're going to select Save, and then you'll see it actually upload it there. Again, to go back to our Pages template, we're going to double click on our Home button. We're going to select our Pages document. And then we're going to go back to our document manager. We're going to select Documents. And now from here, now you have a formal writing template that you can use for anything that you want to create. And again, just as a reminder, to duplicate that document, you're going to go ahead and hold it down, make sure it has a blue frame around it, and then you're going to select the Duplicate button in the top left-hand corner. And then once you do that, you're going to select your copy. And here it says Formal Writing Template Copy. We're going to go ahead and select on that. And then you'll just change the name of the document. So for a lot of you, one of your early writing assignments may be something about Malala. So we'll just go with Malala formal paragraph.